So today is Saturday. I don't know why that's relevant, but I just felt like you might like to know. The weather is nice. It's a little bit fresh outside, but otherwise pleasant. And so we begin. I don't know why I gave you a weather update, but I mean, I guess that's part of my experience as well, so the weather is good. We'll leave it at that, because I was going to bring up the snow again, but we all know how everyone gets about that, because everyone gets a bit antsy when I'm like, snow? Oh yeah, snow's cool. Pointless, all pointless. What have I done this week? This week I started uni. What? University? Jessica, please. Stop lying. I know that's what you're all thinking. Life is tough. No, but it's cool. I like the subject that I'm doing here. It's the history of photography, which is really interesting and somewhat basic, but I like it. And it's fun because I do communications back at home, so it's nice to get away from like the semiotics and all the gender roles and all that sort of stuff, because I do that plenty back home. So it's nice to get into like a bit of like an artsy kind of subject that's still different to what I'm used to. And I like photography, so that's really cool. I like taking photos. You might see them on my Facebook. What else? It's a really interesting class. The professor is so cool, and he has all these really witty jokes, and that has everyone laughing. It actually feels like a communications lecture that I do back at home, because it's huge, and there are students sitting in the what are they called? Not in the seats, in the alley. Oh. Maybe she should stick to the communications, because then she could learn some English. No, in the rows, like they're sitting on the stairs, and it's a grand theatre. It's just packed to the brim, but we're hoping some people drop out because it's very hot in those lecture halls with all those people. And there's a lot of young people, and it feels very much like home. So it actually feels like I'm studying this semester, which is good. And I've noticed that as I'm listening to the professor, it's a lot easier for me to take notes. Like I'm picking it up a lot quicker, which is a real bonus. But yeah, the subject content itself is like the history of photography. So it's talking about the development of Polaroids eventually, and then he mentioned something about Instagram. So it's like stuff that we can relate to. But then he's talking about his photography as art, and he has on the wall a picture of this guy, like with his thing out, just taking a whiz on a chair. And I must have ignored what he was saying the entire time because I was distracted by this photo. But I was just looking at it and I was like, how is that art? That is not, and it was in one of the contemporary modern art museums here where I'm staying, and I just couldn't understand why it was art. But then he said that the person was German, so I was like, oh, that makes sense. No offense. But yeah, so it's really interesting. Uni's good. I'm doing my assignments now for back home. So many people really give me crap because they don't think that I study here. And let's be honest, a lot of the time I'm traveling and a lot of the time I'm enjoying myself. But we do have work to do. It's just not particularly as hard as it would be back home, or as vigorous, because I spend a lot of time at home studying. So it's nice to have a little bit of a break from that. But what else do we do? What else have we been doing? Oh, I forgot to mention as well that I went to, because this is really cool, my friend from Sydney, Angela, came to visit, and she's a hoot. So we had a lot of fun, and we wanted to go somewhere together, but we didn't want to go up north because the weather kept saying that it was raining, and then we didn't want to go down south because we didn't have a lot of time. We didn't want to waste time traveling because time was of the essence. So we went to Lago di Garda. And I don't know how she came across it, or maybe she remembered it from someone that was telling her once. But she mentioned Gardaland, which is like Italy's main theme park. Like it's the craziest thing. It's like Wonderland for whoever is back home knows what I'm talking about, you know. Like a really good Easter show, but it's permanent. It's like a permanent park. And they had 4D rides, crazy fast, like real adrenaline stuff, which I love. I love adrenaline. And they had rides like, did they have kids rides? I'm sure, yeah, they did. They had a kids center and stuff, but then there were like adventure rides and water rides and things like that. So it was really cool. And Angela suggested it to me, and I was like, I'm always down for a theme park. So I was like, yes, let's do it. And so we went to Lago di Garda, which is really beautiful. Like, I'm blown away by how blue the water is in the northern parts of Italy, Austria, Germany, Switzerland. It's just blue. Like, it's bizarre. But so we went to Gardaland, and we had the maps, and we went to this we went to a hotel that said on booking.com that it was 3-star. And we got there, and I was like, Angela. And she's just like, yeah. And I'm like pointing to the sign on the desk when we got there at reception. And she's like, what? And I was like, Angela. And she's like, what? It said 1 star on it. I was like, I did not book 1 star. I would never book 1 star. She was like, well, this is a bit orcs. And I was like, a little. So it was fine. It was basic. We were there for one night because we wanted to leave early the next morning to get to Gardaland. So we didn't want to have to get a train from here. So, and there was a free shuttle from the station anyway. So we stayed the night and just went touring around Lago di Garda the afternoon before, which actually was really funny when we got there. The website was so misleading. It said that there was a free shuttle service to pick you up from the station and take you to the hotel. So we thought, great, let's use that because, I mean, why not? And I mean, it was only an 8-minute walk anyway, so it wasn't that bad. Like, it's a pretty small area, so you couldn't really get lost. But when we got there, we were looking for this shuttle bus, and we were like, okay, where's this shuttle? Like, we were expecting a hotel, so obviously you'd think of like a white shuttle van or something. And we were looking for it, and we were like, I can't see it. And then we just saw this like station wagon pull up in front of us sort of thing. And Angela made a comment. She was like, wouldn't it be funny if that was it? And I was like, yeah, but let's be real. They're not coming, so we'll walk. So we walked anyway. We walked the 8 minutes to get back to the hotel. And then while we were checking in and after the little laugh we had about the 1 star that was featured there, this guy came walking in and he was like, were you the girls that wanted the shuttle? And because we had emailed them prior. And I was like, yes, we were. And he goes, oh, I was outside waiting for you. And we were like, really? We didn't see a shuttle bus? And he goes, no, I have the car. And he actually was the station wagon guy. Angela and I went, in what world would we get in a car with a strange man to take us to a hotel? What? It was bizarre. Anyway, so we got back up to the room. We stayed there for a bit and decided to just quickly get out because you really just wanted to sleep in that place. You didn't want to hang out there. So we left and it was pouring rain by the end of the night. So then we came back home, watched a movie. And then we couldn't work out the TV. So we had to get the guy that was the shuttle service. It's like a one-man band. So we got the guy that was like the shuttle service guy to come and help us with our TV. And he gets up there and I was like, hey, listen, your shuttle service, can you take us to Gardaland? And he was like, no, the shuttle will. And I was like, cool. Could you take us to the station? And he was like, yes, okay, I will. And I was like, thank you so much. And I was like, should we leave early? I don't know what time the shuttle comes for Gardaland at the station, so I don't know what time we should leave. And he's like, you silly goose. And I was like, what? Did he just, like in Italian, I was like, did he just call me a silly goose? And he's just like, firstly, you have breakfast, come down, breakfast will be lovely, relax, then we'll leave, I'll take you to the station, and then you can get the shuttle. We'll just do it very calmly. And I was like, okay, you're kind of weird, but this is really nice, so thank you. But we had ourselves a bit of a laugh about that. That was fun. So then we got the shuttle the next morning, and all these little kids were around us, and Angela was like, surely it's just not little kids. I mean, there were adrenaline rides, really big ones. Which I kind of agreed with. I was like, I don't want these kids here. Anyway, we got there, it opened, we walked through, we went crazy. We had 2 maps with us and we just like strategized, like, right, game plan. We're going this one, because they were the main adrenaline rides and we both loved them. And then we're doing the adventure rides, and then we're gonna have lunch and then do 4D because we don't want to throw up our food after lunch. That would just be ridiculous. So we had planned this so well, and we went on the rides. And Angela, the first ride that we went on, I don't remember what it was called. Not the Blue Tornado, we went on the Raptor. we went on the Raptor, which is crazy fun. It's so good. The first time it's really good. The second time we went on, we were kind of like, well, this is kind of nice. I don't know why. But anyway, massive roller coaster. I was like, Angela, what do you like on rides? And she was like, I don't scream. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I do, but I kind of laugh more than I scream. And she's like, okay. So then we got on it. Angela's just screaming. And I was like, are you okay? She's just like screaming so loud. It was so funny. Oh my gosh. She's probably watching this and laughing. I hope so. I'll be a mente. So that was really funny. Then we went on the Blue Tornado, which was her favorite, but I hated that because this is the one where your feet are dangling. And my neck, like, the head brace was over me and I'm literally like bang, bang, bang with my head. It was so sore. I really hated that ride, but we went on it 5 times because when in Gardaland. What else was there? Oh, then there was this ride called Sequoia. I don't remember what it is. Sequoia. Something Sequoia. And we looked at it, we lined up for it because we thought, okay, it says adrenaline, so we were like, it's got to be good. So we looked at it, and it's literally just like this log, and you're sitting in it, there's about 4 people sitting in it, and you just go up this really steep hill, and then you're at the top, and you just go stationary for a little bit, then you do a curve, and you're underneath, like, so you're actually upside down, going on this ride for about 5 seconds, then you come back up, and you're like this, then you go under again, and you're, upside down. But you're constantly in this little car. And we were so shocked. We were like, why is this scary? Why are people screaming? Like, this doesn't look scary at all. It was actually really slow. It was a very slow ride. And we were just like, this isn't going to be anything fantastic. So when we sat on, we were like, you know what? I feel like this is going to be a good challenge because this doesn't look like a scary ride at all. So we said to each other, we were like, why don't we just have a topic of conversation and then try our best to converse and see how we go going upside down and stuff. And we're both up for a bit of fun, so we're like, yes, fabulous, let's do that. So Angela decides to talk about pizza toppings. And I was like, oh, that's easy. So we started, and we were going up, and I was like, I really like cheese on pizza, but like different kinds of cheese. And then it just went upside down, and I was like, oh my God. And I was like screaming and screaming, and Angela's like, apparently she was still talking about pizza, and I was like, shut up. I was like, I don't want to hear about pizza. I was so afraid because I thought I was falling out, because once you go upside down, you're literally just hanging there, and I was like, I'm literally gonna die. So I was holding on for dear life, but I think I was the only one that screamed the most. It really scared me. So I liked that one, but I wouldn't do that again. But that was funny. And we got off the ride and she was like, I was still talking to you about pizza toppings, and I was like, I had no idea what was going on. That was fun. What else did we do? We went on this 4D one. I was insistent that we had to go onto this 4D ride. And I said to Angela, I was like, if we don't go on that ride, I'm going to be so disappointed. And she was like, all right, we're going to go on. So we timed it perfectly. So we had lunch, and then we had maybe 20 minutes to wait in line. By the time we got there, we'll be early. So we started lining up, and then we went underground. And I was like, this better be good, because I couldn't see anything. And all of a sudden, these doors opened. And I was like, great, it's one of those seated ones that just like the seats move. So you're constantly like, going around and following the screen. I suppose there's a story on the screen sort of thing. So we sat down. I kid you not, it was the most painful thing of my life. Angela and I were yelling. I was like, why is it torturing us? It was just punishment. It was seriously throwing us around. And all I got from the story was that we were an ice cube, or we were pushing an ice cube, because all that was on the screen was this massive ice cube just going around, and we were just following it. Like, I didn't even know where we were. So I don't know what the story was behind that. I don't know what the deal was behind that, but that was so painful. We got out of there and we were just like, oh, like I was bruised from it. It was just so it was throttling me everywhere. But that was so fun. I really, really loved Gardaland, and I would go back for sure. And we went on so many rides. We went on the Mammoth, everything we could think of we went on. It was really good. The only ones we didn't go on were they were like, when they said to us, you can't take your bags, but you can leave them out here on the floor. We were like, no, we're not doing that. That's silly. Oh, and then she came back again where I am, and she stayed with me for a couple of nights, and her mum and dad came through for the day, and we had a nice lunch. So that was really good. And then my cousins came, and I really enjoyed that. It's nice when people come and visit, even if it's just for the day. It's nice to have a lunch together, you kind of get caught up with what's going on at home. So it felt really good. I think I'm done for visitors at the moment. Unless anyone wants to come, you're more than welcome. There's plenty of room. I may look like I have a small bed, but you can fit a lot in there. There's a lot of room on the floor. You'll be on the floor. But yeah, that's about it really. I don't know what else to say. That's all I'm doing is just uni and catch-ups with people that were travelling over the 3 months. It feels weird because a lot of people have gone. A lot of people have left that we made friends with last semester. So it's kind of strange not to see them around, not to talk to them. But it's been good. Oh, and I joined the gym with Christina. I'll give you regular updates on that. It's quite an experience. We go downstairs to stretch, and the first time that we went downstairs to stretch, we were like, what has happened? Where have we just walked into? Just like gods everywhere. It's crazy, but it's really very good motivation. And yes, and then there's like these girls walking around, and I'm like, what? You don't need to be here. And they're just naked. They're just naked in the change rooms, and I'm just like, oh, okay. I'm so sorry. Oh, and they don't care. They just like take their towel off in front of you, and you're like, oh, your towel is off. Oh, okay, scusa. I just like try to. Oh! Good on, Madge. Yeah, that happened. Alright, I guess that's my cue to leave. I'm gonna go. I will update you some more on some stuff that we're doing in the weeks as we go along. But for now, ciao! Bye! Look, I have to do it manually now. Oh, God.